The ocean calls us to confront the most basic moral imperative. Stop fighting. Today's governments hold a lockdown on so many solutions, causing citizens to fight over which single solution will be enforced on everyone. But forcing single solutions through the bottleneck of the political process is no way to find the best solution to global problems. Humans can't predict what's best for humanity. Humans discover what's best for humanity by letting millions engage in trial and error, which is exactly what governments can't do. Consider Benjamin Franklin. He helped discover and control electricity, and he helped design the United States Constitution. The control of electricity inspired a cascade of experiments which gave rise to modern technologies that to Franklin would seem magical. Each of Franklin's inventions advanced beyond his wildest imaginings, yet the methods of governance he helped invent have not advanced. The most powerful nation on earth is still using a government designed when information traveled at the speed of a horse. Why did Franklin's ideas for technology progress, but his ideas for governance did not? Two words: competition and choice. The churning force of competition and choice that drives progress from smoke signals to smartphones has never been applied to governments. When it comes to technologies and products, we can create and we can choose. When it comes to governments, we can't create or choose. Government is a monopoly. It doesn't have to compete with others to please us. Government enforces a one-size-fits-all value system on millions of citizens who can take it but can't easily leave it. Patri Friedman comes from a pedigree of thinkers who have pondered this problem for generations. His grandfather, Milton Friedman, taught about the power of choice. Millions of voluntary adjustments in a global network of commerce spontaneously adapts to human desires, while old, crusty governments are slow, gridlocked, and frustrate everybody. Patri's dad, David Friedman, taught about the power of mobility. He famously suggested that if houses were on wheels and borders didn't exist, citizens who were dissatisfied with their government services could freely drive their house to a competing government. We'd have an economic solution to political problems. His son, Patri Friedman, realized choice and mobility were married in fluidity. Because our homes are stuck to land, governments can claim control over captive citizens. But what if we lived on the ocean and could sail about and choose the neighbors we want? On a fluid frontier, governments could only form if people chose to attach to each other. Ocean governments would dissolve if people removed their consent and expand if people chose them. On a fluid medium, citizens wouldn't struggle to survive governments' choices. Governments would struggle to survive citizens' choices. On the ocean, the parameters of progress would be in place. We'd have variation by governments and selection by citizens. Variation and selection. The same magic recipe that drives rapid progress in technologies, markets, and science. From this primal soup of societies, we'd experience what Patri Friedman called a Cambrian explosion of governments. Patri suggested that the process of trial and error will generate solutions we can't even imagine today. Patri's insight about competitive governance became one of the most contagious ideas of the new millennium. What will floating ocean nations look like? That's like Europeans asking Benjamin Franklin, what will Manhattan Island look like? Those of us who live in 18th century governments can't imagine the wondrously diverse nations that will emerge from market competition among 21st century seasteads. For centuries, brilliant people have been generating ideas for how to live together. These ideas can't be tried out while 193 governments hold monopoly control over 7 billion captive citizens. We think thousands of pioneers are poised to become their own founding Franklin or Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. Politically, if we stop fighting and start creating, we'll discover the miraculous solutions we're not imagining now. If you agree with us, become a member of the Seasteading Institute and join the Blue Revolution. We'll see you on the Blue Frontier. Click on the issue you care about below, and maybe we can convince you to join our growing seasteading community.